You get out of jail, you get back with your crew. Give us your streams of income. Like, what was your steady stream? Like loan sharking. What was your
Right.
what's the different revenue streams and what kind of money did that look like?
Right. So basically, when I was full blown mob guy, I was a huge loan shark. I had like 250,000 out in the street. But I had it out for my boss, so I get the money at one point. So I make money on it. So I was making like 20 some hundred a week just off loan money,
Really?
and then I
trust you. Here's 250K cash.
Well, no, you don't do it like that. It's just whenever I need money, I'll go get it. So he's away at the time, so I'll say, "Oh, I need 5,000." I'll go grab 5,000, and I'll go give it to the person, and I put it on a list. Yeah. And over the year, it accumulated to like $250,000, and that's how much I had out with him. And I was, and then I had a big half sheet with sports, so I would get a lot of customers on my half sheet, and I make some thousands. I was pulling in probably 5,000 to 10,000 a week, like I always said in my high. I was doing like 30,000 a month, a little over that sometimes, and then
that's that on the books. It's like so you're the top 1% of earners. Now, can you spend freely, or you know, like you have a BMW?
I never owned anything. I always leased cars. All my, you know, I lived in a regular apartment. I didn't have a big house, you know, and that stuff. And that's how I did it. You know, I was a party guy, so I would go out a lot, you know, and I like nice clothes. I go shopping every day and jewelry, and that's how I was. I just lived like it was never going to end.
So that was like in Manhattan. Was that still like the Limelight Palladium days, or those days were done? Like, where did you go out?
No, I was going more like Long Island clubs, or we go to the city a lot, you know, or I go to Greenhouse, or I go to One Oak, spots like that. Yeah, and it was pretty. I had a good time. I did. I had 2 cars. I had a social club. I had an apartment. You know, I had everything. I was the guy for a little while.
Now, during that little run, you're making a few bucks. You're connected, so like you're somewhat untouchable, right? Somebody, you know, if basically.
I mean, I wouldn't say untouchable, but you know, I was feared. So you know, I was one of the guys they didn't want to have problems with. You know, I was known to play with guns. You know what I mean? That was my thing. I loved guns. I was pretty violent with them, and that's you know, people really didn't want no problems with me.
Now, John Ali, who you partner with on your show, we'll talk about it a little later, is he broke it down where, you know, generally you're a hitter, which is your muscle, or you're an earner, and he was a very few that was both. Candidly, were you more of a hitter, an earner, a hybrid?
Like I said, I don't want to like make myself bigger than what I am. I'm just gonna tell you the truth. John A. was that. He was both. He was a killer. He was an earner. Me, I wasn't a big earner, but I made money. You know, at one time I was bringing my boss probably, you know, I was probably making him at one time probably 20,000 a month, which is not crazy money, but it's compared to some other people. But at one time
he has like 10 guys under him, so he's making
probably more than that. Yeah, he probably had more than that. But I mean, 20. Yeah, Ronnie was making about 30 to 50,000 a week, but I mean, I was bringing him with loans and sports about 20,000 a month average. But I was more violent. My thing was more I was a violent guy. That's what my role mostly was for him. I did go with money, but I wasn't a multimillionaire. But my thing was more of henchman. You know.
Got it.
Right.
Now, I don't know if you would even know this, but were you close to becoming a made member? Like were you groomed?
I was actually supposed to go in 2012, but I didn't because Ronnie G said he wanted to be there because he was in jail. And then when he came home in 2013, Vinny was trying to put me in, and then he said that, Ronnie told him, we got to wait because I don't want Gene to go on my list because then he can't hang out with me. So I'm with the guy every day. So when I become a member, I go on his list. He's on federal parole, and I can never go near him again. See, if I'm not a member, he could pull it off, or I can still hang out with him all the time.
The government knows once you get your. Is it a government thing?
The day they know the day of.
What?
Literally, yeah. I don't know how they do. Yeah, they literally know the day of. It's crazy.
So much for secret society. All right. So for whatever reason he held that, maybe political. Now what happens there? Like so what does it mean? And this is why I wanted to have you on for many reasons. But what does it mean? And give me the good and the bad. What does it mean to be a made member today? Like if you became made, what does it really mean? Where is it?
Nowadays, back in the 80s and 70s, it meant something. Nowadays, it means nothing. Yeah. Basically, I wanted it because I felt like I deserved it, and I felt like, everyone else felt I deserved it. People used to come up to me and thought I was straightened out, and they'd be like, "You're not done yet?" And I says, "No." He goes, "What the hell?" He goes, "All these other guys are in, you're not?" He goes, "Yeah." But how's that? You do everything. I says, "That's the way the cards fall, But nowadays it means absolutely nothing. We have guys that are getting straightened out now that I could tell you that never did anything in their lives. Nothing. Legitimately nothing. So it really means nothing anymore. It's just a title, and you basically have your own crew, but it's really not good to be made, because then you have mandatory kickups. You have to follow a lot more rules, and it's actually better not to be a member, to be honest with you.
Now it's interesting because I want to wear your hat at the time. So let's just say, sake of argument, I'm a jerk off, I'm a nobody, and then maybe because my uncle or whatever, I get my button. It dilutes it for you and makes it not as important, because you kind of had protection anyway.
Right. So
yeah, go ahead.
Right. So like I'm saying, like, that's the whole problem, that a lot of guys that were really out there doing stuff, we don't like the guys that are getting involved that never did nothing. Like, we had a guy in my crew, his name was Nicholas Fest, they call him Pudgy. And like I said, I was good friends with him, but the kid was literally getting robbed all the time, abused. I mean, he gave Ronnie $10,000 a week, so Ronnie loved him. So Ronnie would tell me to protect him like he's his son. All right. So the kid was literally a victim. And they ended up making him because they felt like they had to. After so many years of him paying, he'd never been into a fight. He's never swung his arm. He's never shot nobody. He's never killed nobody. He's never robbed nobody. He's never done nothing except for give Ronnie money. That's all he's done in his life. So, and people actually used to make fun of him. You know what I'm saying? He was known as a joke. He's 75% Irish, 25% Italian. Yeah. His last name's just Italian. He's mostly Irish. So it's it don't matter no more. They just put in whoever, just to fill slots. So, yeah.
All right. So, and I'm just going to give you my understanding, just, again, talking to John Lead and so forth. The Bonannos got really kind of screwed up a while ago. Keep it simple. I guess there was a commission or whatever, kind of got removed. And then Joe Messino was a major boss in Queens, hooked up even Gotti and so forth. Brought it back to a point of, hey, we're players again. And then the boss flipped, and I believe that was under your your time. So walk us through that. That had to have been crazy. And give us, were you actually on the rise, on the decline, and then what happened?
Right, because when he flipped, 10 other captains flipped, so the whole family was pretty much crushed. I mean, it was we were almost as bad as the Colombo family when they went bad. They have nothing left. But at the one point, the Bonanno family was the laughing stock too, because Joe Messino, the underboss, flipped too, and all the captains. So the whole family was wiped out, and and it basically gives people like us, what the fuck, if they're gonna cooperate, you can't trust anybody. Joe Messino's he was the Don, you know what I'm saying? So it's and at the one point, a lot of the other families were saying that they didn't recognize anybody that came under Joe Messino. So if you were straightened out under him, he straightened out a lot of guys. So everybody's flipping out, saying, how you not going to recognize me because you came under a rat? So basically, they're trying to say they won't recognize his members no more. So that went on for a little while, and then it stopped. I believe we didn't have another street boss. I remember 2011, we got a guy named Tommy D. And that was the first street boss we had since Joe Messino. He was actually acting boss for Mikey the Nose while Mikey the Nose was in jail. Mikey the Nose was always the boss, but he just appoints people for the street, and he appointed the guy Tommy.
Now, what fascinates me about organized crime is the structure. It's been around for 400 years, and frankly, I think it will be around for another 400, maybe not in the same capacity. But how important was it to have a leader, even at your level? Was it important, or you didn't care, or it actually did a little bit to show your colors, feel good about an organization? How important was having leadership in the equation?
You mean to have a guy
Yeah, obviously, listen, I'm doing dirt here. Maybe you report to Ronnie, you work with Minnie, but
right.
You had a street boss. Did you feel a little better? Okay, hey.
Right, because you don't want when you're in that lifestyle, like I said, when someone does something, it falls on everybody. So it's when he did that, it made everybody look bad.